What's going on, guys? I'm with the Moose, and I'm extremely excited about this new event that's in the game right now. It is, of course, called the All-Star Summer Showdown #1. There will be a Showdown #2 coming in a couple of weeks, but this first one is basically pitting AL pitchers versus NL hitters. So every single team will have only American League pitchers and National League hitters. A couple big caveats of this is your team overall cannot be any higher than 78 overall, and they also restricted all diamonds, so you cannot play with any diamond in this. The highest overall you can play with is an 89, and obviously with live series you can have a guy boosted up above if they have like a 5-star inside edge rating, but in general most of the players you're going to see are kind of like golds, a bunch of silvers, and even some commons some bronzes, and even maybe a few commons, because that overall limit at 78 is pretty darn low. You can't just stack out your team with all golds. I just made my team before the video, and it's pretty tough to come up with a lineup that kind of fits the bill of what you want to do. Now, a couple things that you want to make sure you know. Obviously, it's limited to those players and whatnot, free to enter and all that kind of thing, but 3-inning games, that's kind of the key here. 3-inning games changes the way you want to think about it. Think about it like Battle Royale, where you don't really want any good starting pitchers necessarily. You really want a good bullpen. So that's kind of what I did. I'll show you guys what I did in a little bit. There are awards, of course. This was revealed last night, but if you didn't see yet, 96 overall Nolan Ryan for 12 wins in a row, and an 89 overall James Shields for 9 wins in a row, and also, of course, the silver and bronzes for a little bit lower win streaks. And then for cumulative win rewards, if you get 40 wins total in the event, you get a 96 overall Evan Longoria, which is not too bad. 40 wins does not seem that hard to me. Obviously, that's not going to be super easy or anything. You're going to need to play a lot, but it's only 3-inning games. And honestly, I don't think that's too bad. I'm very happy it's 3-inning games. I don't like the 6-inning setup of a couple other events. Just not a big fan of it. And then, of course, 25 wins gets you an All-Star flashback. Jay Bruce, they're all All-Star players. Makes sense, as the All-Star is kind of like the whole point of this event right now. So let's take a look at my lineup. We'll see what it looks like. And, of course, leave your lineups in the comments down below, or at least, critique mine a little bit. Maybe I'll have to edit it as I play through. But after this video, I'm going to be playing a bunch of games. So hopefully I can kind of get some wins and see where I need to maybe tinker with the team for a future entry into the event. Of course, it will generate a lineup for you right away. Although if you're like me and have, a good amount of good players, you probably will have a lineup that is a little bit higher than the overall cap. So just be aware of that. I think mine was at like 88 overall. And you guys can see, first up, the pitching rotation or starting rotation. My rotation is complete garbage. Best pitcher is Brian Mitchell at 67 overall. Rest are around mid-60s. Even Adam Plutko is at 54, so very low. Initially, I wasn't thinking about doing this. I was going to have like Felix in there, Yu Darvish, Chris Archer, a bunch of good pitchers like that. But as I kind of filled out my roster, my overall was still around like 83, 84, and it was almost impossible to get it down without dropping my pitchers really low. One thing you can do is potentially use like low silvers. A guy like Marcus Stroman I kind of considered doing. Eduardo Rodriguez, a potential guy as well. And a bunch of other ones, obviously. I even had Trevor Cahill in there for a little while, and so on. There's a bunch of pitchers you can use that will lower it, but not to the extent that if you do it like I did here. These ones were more or less random that I chose. Brian Mitchell happens to throw kind of fast. Bartolo is just kind of fun to pitch with. Other guys, I have Ryan Merritt because he's a lefty. In general, like I said, kind of random. No real rhyme or reason why I did this. Kind of the moral of the story here is that I wanted to lower my team overall, and also, if you do choose to do a strategy like this, do not pitch your starting pitcher for more than one batter in the entire game. He will be required to face that leadoff hitter, but after that, you make sure you have somebody warming up and instantly take him out. You don't want the starting pitcher in there if you do this strategy. Now, of course, moving over to the bullpen, you guys can see right here, it's kind of a mix. So first up, obviously, I don't really have any great relief pitchers. I have a couple great closers, but not really many too great relief pitchers. I have a guy like Phil Hughes, Chris Davinsky, Will Harris, Nate Jones. Love Nate Jones, but it was a little tough to put him in there. But Sean Doolittle I have because he's pretty much my best lefty that I have, so definitely needed him. And then also Jake Diekman, I think, is going to be kind of a darling of this event. The only thing bad about him, honestly, in his stats is his control. It's so bad. 51 control along with 36 walk per nine. Everything else pretty good, though. Their per nines for hit per nine and K per nine, not bad at all. Also has 99 velocity. Throws about 98 or 99 miles an hour. Is pretty nasty against lefties, so he's in there to face lefties kind of early in the game. If the guy has a couple lefties stacked early, he'll probably be my first reliever that comes out. I also have Jeremy Jeffress, also a decent option in this event, basically because he has that 99 velocity. It's insane. His per nine's not nearly as good as Diekman, But just the fact that he can throw, like, I think he even maybe will be able to touch 100 miles an hour is pretty nasty. And it's kind of a guy that I'll throw in Diekman. If a guy I'm playing has 3-4 right-handers in a row that are coming up early in the first inning, I might put Jeffress in instead. And then Boone Logan also in there, kind of to be another lefty. If I need to really mix and match late in the game, I'm only up by 1, and I need like a left, right, left. Boone Logan gives me that option as well. And then I also have Joe Kelly, kind of same deal as Jeffress. He throws 99, and also he's my man on the Red Sox. Been having a great year. He is down today, so that's a little unfortunate, and I don't really plan on using him too much, but it's kind of there as if I want to. I think that's it. I don't think I had anybody else that's that bad. Kind of with this strategy of the bad rotation, you want a good bullpen if you can, and that kind of follows suit. I have Roberto Osuna, who I think is one of the best closers in the entire game. He's so nasty. His stats are crazy good. He throws very hard. I think he probably touches around 97 or so. His slurve is incredible. Very, very hard to hit, especially with a right-handed batter. It has a nice cutter, a changeup, really nice pitch selection. Great pitcher for this event, of course. And then Kelvin Herrera, one of my favorite relievers in the entire game. Throws 100, regularly. Has a nasty, slider, changeup, even a curveball. Really has the whole package for you. So I definitely needed to throw him in there. Obviously, you guys can see I'm leaving off some great pitchers like Joakim Soria, Cody Allen, and so on. But that's kind of how you have to do it. With a 78 overall team limit, you really can't have like the best team ever. So that's just kind of something you have to be aware of as you move through this. So let's get to the lineup. Who do we have here? We'll go through each position and kind of break down why they're hitting where they are first. So Stephen Vogt is going to be our catcher. There's not many great catcher options, obviously, in the NL. I was going to say unless you had like Buster Posey, but then again, he's a diamond, and you can't use diamonds. I don't really know who else in the NL is potentially like a gold catcher. I guess like, Yadier Molina is pretty good, I guess. He's probably a guy that I might even consider buying for this event. But I threw in Stephen Vogt for now. He actually just made the move to the Brewers, obviously, after getting released by the A's. So, he's up today. That's kind of why I used him. And also, I had used him at the beginning of the season, very early on, the first week of the game being out, and I really enjoyed him. So hopefully he can do some damage. He is hitting 8th, though, because the rest of my lineup is pretty good, at least in my opinion. Now at first base, I do have this Paul Goldschmidt. Almost everybody should have him from Conquest. If you don't, get on your missions and get him done. Great card, especially against lefties. Even against righties, holds his own. Good speed, good fielding, and all that. Just a really solid all-around card. Anthony Rizzo, also a great option, but probably less accessible for most people. I'm going to use Goldschmidt just because I like him a little bit more than Rizzo overall. And then I do have this Dale Murphy there, and he's not really going to play first at all. He's obviously on my bench, my best bench player for that matter. At least by overall, but he kills lefties with that 95 contact, but moreover, he can play catcher and he has good speed. So if I ever need to pinch run for Stephen Vogt late in the game, I'm just going to pinch run Dale Murphy because he has much better speed at 78, and he can play catcher later on in the game if he needs to. So that's kind of the option there. At second base, that's always funny. I keep getting confused here because I'm wondering what the hell is going on at second base because this never shows any players, and it's because I exchanged all my players for the Ryan Sandberg. So be aware of that. I don't have any National League second baseman right now, so actually Anthony Rendon going to be playing second base for me. He can play first, second, or third for you. Great card. I always have insane success with him. Kind of joke around with a bunch of my friends that he's kind of like the BR god. Just the god in this game in general. For whatever reason, despite his stats not really, showing you too much, I just hit really well with this card. So he's going to be playing second base for us. And then Jake Lamb going to be at third for us. Obviously having a great year for the Diamondbacks, potentially a gold candidate later on in the year. Kills righties, just absolutely rocks them. Look at that today, especially. 94, 97. That is nuts. Now, against lefties, not good at all. You definitely want to protect him in the lineup if you can, and that's why I actually have Hanley Ramirez at shortstop right behind him. So if you take a look, Hanley Ramirez kills lefties, 87, 86. Very nice. Good speed as well with 94. Okay fielding. I mean, he's not that great, but in general, that's kind of why Hanley's in the lineup as well. Now, also, Martin Prado going to be at my bench, and that's because he has 99 contact versus lefty and also 86 vision. I didn't know this before, but that's crazy. He's going to be on my bench if they put in a lefty and I need to pinch hit somebody. Martin Prado is the go-to man for that. Now, of course, shortstop, like I said, Hanley Ramirez, basically because he was my best option, but also because of that versus lefty factor. It's pretty nice to have. A guy I consider was, of course, Jonathan VR. Even for my bench, he does have insane speed and stealing, but he just cannot hit for his life. Even with the boost today with 5-star, he still is not very good at hitting at all. He doesn't really provide anything in terms of fielding other than the kind of range of positions, but in general, I just didn't think it was worth it. I opted for a guy like Rafael Bautista here, who still has really good speed, a little bit worse stealing, and obviously the speed isn't as high. But this guy is like literally only going to be there for pinch running, so that's what Bautista is there for. And also, if there's a better option than Bautista that I'm not thinking of that isn't extremely low overall, because that's kind of the whole point, let me know in the comments down below. It's just kind of the guy that I found right away on my team. Also, real quick before we forget, Wilmer Flores is on the squad as well. Kills lefties and actually is pretty good against righties today as well. So just a really good pinch hitter in general. Can kind of be used in any spot that I need. Over to left field now. Who do we got there? We have Ryan Braun. They did throw Marcell Ozuna in there first for me, but I kind of like Braun better. I just like his swing really like a lot. And also his stats today are just crazy. I mean, he's a great hitter in the game. Also pretty nice that he has 70 speed. Can really make sure if you hit a ball in the gap, it's going to guaranteed be a double, potentially a triple threat as well with that speed. So I don't think we have anybody else for left field. In center field, it was a tough one. I at one point I had Yelich, at one point I had Billy Hamilton, another point I had Ben Revere. Finally settled on Lou Brock, and it was a tough one. And I don't really love it. He does do well against righties and even has some power, but he cannot hit lefties for his life. Like, he's going to be such a liability against lefties. And that's why I'm leading him off. I mean, he does have 99 speed, which is cool, and he can kind of bunt, so maybe I just bunt against lefties. But I'm just praying that I face right-handed starting pitchers. And if I do, him leading off won't be a liability at all. He's probably only going to get like 2 at-bats a game anyway, so even if they do bring in a lefty to face him, I got Goldschmidt, Braun, and Stanton coming up to kind of face those guys. So they probably don't want to bring in a lefty just for Lou Brock, although they might. Finally, Giancarlo Stanton playing right field, absolute monster. I mean, his power is just unmatched. And also today, with that boost to contact, he's at 73 contact rate, 80 left. That's really good. His only major downside is, of course, that 34 vision. And I guess his speed, although 50 speed, not too bad. So, great card. Really like Stanton. And, of course, with the All-Star game coming up, figured it would be a fitting tribute. That is the lineup, though. Lou Brock, Paul Goldschmidt, Braun, Stanton, Lamb, Hanley Ramirez, Anthony Rendon, and Stephen Vogt. Let me know if you guys think anything should change, of course. And same deal with my bench. Anything should change there. I do have Kyle Schwarber on the bench to hit righties, although, I don't know. That could definitely change pending what you guys say as well. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. And let me know what your lineup looks like and if you think I should make any changes. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.